Year after year after year, I've been going and getting fitted for the same driver shaft time after time after time. Now it is finally time for me to go and test some of the world's most exotic shafts in some of the biggest branded heads and see if potentially it could help my game to hit more fairways and ultimately longer drives. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson and welcome back to this YouTube channel. Guys, today you join us somewhere rather special because we are going to get fitted for a new driver shaft and see if potentially I can gain some distance, hit straighter, more accurate drives, and just see if I've maybe been using the wrong driver shaft all along in potentially the wrong driver head as well, because this place literally has it all. So have I really been using the wrong shaft all this time? Years and years and years, I feel like I've been using the best shaft for me in my driver, and as you can see, we have come to the perfect place. This is Willy Wonka's chocolate factory of golf. Lawrence, how are we?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are
Long
you
time
doing?
no see. Thank you very much for having us down.
Nice to meet you again,
really
pal.
appreciate your time. So you started talking to me about the ethics around this place and what it's about. So do you want to tell the guys at home, because it's really, really interesting?
Yeah, so we're here at SGGT England. So this is a brand new facility that Scott Gawley's built himself. Scott has been fitting for over 20 years, and the ethos behind the business is we want to push things, make things better for the golfer. We do things very differently.
Easier, could you say?
Yeah, we want it to be easier for them. We want them to have that opportunity to find the right product for them, so they don't have to constantly change and look and strive for that sort of perfect golf club. We can just give it to them straight away. So what we've done is Scott came up with the methodology in the irons room, which is next door. This is the dedicated woods room. So as you can see,
there's plenty to go at.
Yeah, and every shaft fits in every head.
Even every little nook and cranny. I went for a wee earlier and then I saw this and I was like, they're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough wall space really for what we want to put on there. So you see everything in here. We thought that, you know, that sort of opportunity for guys to try a shaft, and if they do really like it, why not be able to try it in every model, every manufacturer's head?
Yeah.
And the same with heads. If you have a head that you really like the look of, let's try and give it its best opportunity to find its performance for you. Because sometimes, you know, working for an OEM previously, you can't find that for someone, and you have to come up with a compromise to make it work. So there is no compromise in this room.
There's going to be a shaft here for somebody and a head here for somebody, isn't there?
If there isn't, then I don't know where you're going to find it.
Yep. Right.
Right, let's go.
So very interesting, guys, there, because I mentioned in the introduction that I've been going to club fittings for numerous years now, but I've been going to the brands themselves. I've been going to Callaway, to TaylorMade, to Ping, and they will fit you for the best shaft for that product. But it's a long, long time since I've been somewhere where I can actually test pretty much everything and see what does actually work best for me. I can't believe I've let it get this long down the line, but here we are. So where do you want me to start?
So we'll start with your current driver. So you've got
this
Paradigm.
Bad boy. I warn you, mate, this is long.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're very fortunate that, you know, you've got a good driver, great shaft as well. It's a good starting point.
So I really want to focus on this because I've been using a Hazardous 6.0 60-gram shaft since the dawn of time, pretty much since it came out, and I loved it.
Yeah.
If there's something better that we can find in here, be that driver distance, be that dispersion, be it anything, then I'm all yours.
Perfect. Right, let's get going.
Interesting for me, what I'd like to try and find maybe as well is I prolifically used a draw for quite a long time, whereas I have moved more to a fade, which does take out the left side of the golf course unless I properly yank one, which can happen. But I'd love to maybe just try and see one working out right to left a little bit.
So you want it starting a little bit more?
Yeah, I know there's only so much we can do with shaft and head combination. A lot of it's going to be down to me practicing through the winter. Anything that probably feels a bit softer that can help me do that maybe?
Yeah, definitely.
So, that's a typical example. Really nice flight, nice and low, just fading back.
And is that the sort of height you're looking for?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think I could probably get that a little bit higher if I wanted to, but I don't feel like that's a terrible flight for the courses that we often play. That's probably the one we don't want.
Yeah, sort of quite a flat, low left.
There's not a lot of talking to that one, is there?
Yeah, just dipping out in spin, not a lot of launch. And do you find that that driver has that in there?
Yeah, I feel like and it's funny because as soon as we get on like a kind of launch monitor of any description, I do start to get my body back a little bit, try launching it a bit more, because I like the low spin element, but I need to be able to launch it, don't I?
Yeah. So do you find you work yourself into trying to find the numbers than
Yes.
having the product
Yeah.
give you the numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We can work with that.
That was nice.
Yeah, good hit, that one.
See there, jumping up to around a 270 carry, which for me, pretty good. I'm going to take that most of the time. But the funny thing is, that was toey, and that's what I feel like I have been getting with, especially the triple diamond. If I can get that toey one that still launches, then I feel like it's doing okay for me.
Is that your miss, though? That's one that comes a little bit more towards
That
the
was
toe
straight
side.
to that one. That was
Yeah.
a little bit better, yeah. But that's me feeling like
But
I try
I mean,
and
sort of like your contact miss on the club face.
Yeah,
More,
definitely.
always more towards that
Yeah.
toe than heel.
Yeah.
Because you're right, you do see that sort of drop down in ball speed when you do that. I mean, I really like
That's
that.
my gaming shot, that. So that's what, 1.9 club head speed, carrying 260-ish, 1975
Yeah.
spin.
Yeah.
Like, I'm quite happy with that. It looks like it's on a little bit left on the monitor, but
Yeah, I've got it set up just straight with the mat, which is a fraction right of where you've just started yourself hitting.
so around the 150.
Yeah, so for me, I'm not really concerned with that. You've got a consistent sort of
Yeah.
direction you're hitting it in. I mean, for me, what I'm seeing, if we see that 1975 get struck out the toe, that's pushing what we call, like fitters will talk about, a dip flight, so a flight that just comes out and just, you've got nothing on that. And like you said, there's no
Because
talking
club head
to
speed
it.
was quite high there, wasn't it, as
Yeah,
well?
you were a little bit quicker, which is nice to see. So there's a couple of things for me. I think that it's probably looking at something maybe a fraction too strong in terms
In
of what
shaft.
you get. Yeah, in shaft, or maybe we look at something a little bit more lofted for you. If you do like that sort of stout firmness of the shaft profile, we look at something maybe with a bit more loft, keeping a low spin profile head, something like, we can try that TS3, TS4.
I really enjoyed the TSR3, yeah. It's interesting because I was fitted for this at the start of the season, and as the season progressed, I've been doing a lot of work with second-hand golf clubs, and I found that the second-hand golf club higher loft has probably helped quite a lot.
Yeah, just sort of, more sort of 10 and a half?
Yeah,
sort of, yeah.
Not a lot, but just like maybe a degree and a bit.
Just a little bit more playable. Because even that one, to me, it just looks like it doesn't quite want to...
It's not really getting up there, is it?
I always say that when you're looking at a ball flight, you almost want to see it look like it's stalled at the top, and that's it where it's moving flat and forwards.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. So for us, I think a good place for us to start, quite a light for light. So at least we can get some data with one of the TSR heads.
Yeah.
The Hazardous Blue Smoke RDX, it should have a slightly softer profile in torque. So again, that might help us just get that a little bit more launch.
Yeah.
But ballpark, it's very, very similar to what you're in. So
and I feel like that is home as well. And it's not that I haven't liked this shaft. I just want to either discount that it is the right one or that there is something better out there.
Yeah, and we'll have a look at that for you.
Yeah.
So put you in the 9 degree. So this will be quite similar to what you've got. And the blue profile is a little bit more high launching than the Gen 4.
Yeah.
So
this head's probably a little bit more forgiving than the triple diamond.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
isn't it?
So we should see a little bit of benefit for you here, hopefully.
Similar. Felt a little bit like that might perform better even with a worse strike.
Yeah, I mean, numbers across the board, quite similar throughout. A little bit low in spin, but like I said, that's something that we're expecting to see maybe from the loft or the stoutness of the shaft. So.
Consistent. Shows that the shaft's the same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, a blind test, we'd be going, yeah, that's got to be a very, very similar golf club.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah, that's the one where if I'm playing well, that's the drive.
That's the one you want to see, that sort of soft left to right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you do that, you for me, I like to see sort of 2.4, 2.5 spin minimum.
Yeah.
Just because I think anywhere on the face, that's still
playable. Do you think there's been a little bit of maybe, and the guys will enjoy this conversation at home, maybe the lower the spin, the better the recent few years, like a little bit of misconception maybe?
Yeah, I think there's always been that sort of drive for low spin, low spin, low spin, and it's been a sort of push from a lot of the manufacturers as well. so we're always, I think what we're seeing now is quite a lot of players playing things that are too firm, too harsh, too stout for them. I've done it as well. It's just, you know, as good golfers or average golfers, we do believe that stouter feel, sensation, profile should bring us in. And actually sometimes it can do the opposite.
Yeah.
Because we can't square the face up and then we don't know where the face is, and that can open up a very different can of worms. I'm going to start with a shaft that you've probably not seen.
I've never seen that one.
So you'll see TPT in Jason Day's bag at the moment. It's been sort of an introduced back into the tour over the last couple of seasons. This is their Nitro range, so this is their top range shaft. We're going to play the 17 high, which is sort of like a mid ball flight to higher ball flight, 55 gram profile. It's still quite a stout shaft. Where you are seeing a lot of this shaft used at the moment is in the long drive scene. So because it's so consistent.
I mean, I'm working on it. I only need another 100 yards.
Yeah. You're only 45 miles an hour off it.
Yeah.
So you are seeing a lot of the long drive guys using this. I think there was 3 out of the top 5 were using this range of shafts. And as you can see up there, there's 21 different shafts that we have available in just
Amazing
driver.
how they all look the same.
Yeah. So for us, it's one of the most popular shafts in the fact it's such a pure weave and it's so consistent. So actually, you can't pure this shaft.
Right.
Or the reason.
Can we talk through this really quickly? And I know this is, I mean, because you've just mentioned it, and I was playing with this earlier. Talk people through this.
Yeah. So all of our shafts, you'll see on the wall that they've got these little P stickers on, just like this, and some of them have just got lines on as well. So what we do. And you'll see it in here. So this shaft has gone in with the graphics on the side.
Yeah.
And the reason being is we try and align them so that the pure part of the shaft, the most efficient part of the shaft, goes towards the target in a parallel line. So what we have here is an SST stick. So this shows us how Puring works. So this sort of blade-like area here shows you the seam in the shaft.
Yeah. Spin that round for us so they can. There we go.
So if I then start to move this as I would move a swing, you can see it's very efficient. No waggle really, very much a sort of solid movement.
Yeah.
If I then do it on its side and do the same thing, you can see it starts to want to wobble.
Yeah.
Imagine that with, take a driver, 190 to 200 grams of weight on the end.
Yeah.
That's going to really exaggerate how that moves. I always find it very interesting. If you put it at like 45 degrees and then do it, I'm not trying to do any circles there. I'm trying to move that shaft left to right, and all of a sudden it starts to oscillate and create that sort of oval shape.
Difficult.
So obviously it shows that the graphics on the shaft aren't always in the correct position for you, and every shaft in here has been pured.
Yeah.
So you're
getting the spine of the shaft, some people say, don't they?
Yeah, the spine of the shaft is in line with the target. So for us, what that does is it means that you're always getting the most efficient and way in which that product can be put into a golf club. So you're going to get the best possible outcome from that particular shaft. So that's the best that shaft can perform.
Yeah.
So we do it on all of them. Where the TPT is very good, we feel it's really, really round. The way in which the layers are made is super consistent. They do lots of other sort of graphite products, from high-end masts on sort of America's Cups boats, F1 car wings and satellites. So when you look at sort of like the marketplace that they work in, it's a super good product to at least start with. And I think just dropping down a little bit of weight, putting something that's maybe hopefully going to give you a little bit more of a flight as well, might just help just give us the right sort of...
Let's try it. And out of interest, because I'm a Yorkshireman, what we're talking?
We'll talk at the end.
Okay. Because there's a few here that I want to show you all, and they're not all cheap, but if you're going to go and spend the money, why not spend it properly on something that's going to work? Does look cool. That's the one thing. The first thing I was going to say is if you're that guy, like the gentleman next door, Gaz, you want your shaft to look cool, because you know that if you're at the range or if you're on the first tee, you've been paired with someone and they're like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
And then if you've done your research and you've come here and you've explained it all and you've listened, you might know.
It's that listening part.
It is. That's the difficult bit. They only started more online.
Spin jumped up a bit. That's fine for me. Maybe a little bit high, but like I said, we're starting, aren't we? We're just trying to find that sort of point of difference at the moment.
That was nice.
That was lovely.
Yeah,
That launch angle's just that little bit higher as well.
yeah,
Your smash factor's higher as well.
yeah.
From 145, you're up at 147. How does that sort of weight feel to you though?
It feels light, but I don't mind that.
Yeah?
55, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
a little bit lighter. Does it feel soft or too soft or?
Let me hit one more just to... I feel like I can maybe hit the shots I want to hit, like with this more. Like that.
I mean, what I would say straight off the bat, that's more consistent. Like
Yeah.
you look at that start line and it's hardly deviated from that sort of 200 at the top of the range there.
Yeah.
Um,
It feels easier to navigate, maybe. I think
Yeah.
that's an interesting one. If you're playing 18 holes a lot and shaft weight, if you are not the fittest gentleman in the world, even towards the back end, you might struggle to
Yeah.
produce consistent movements with it.
yeah, I always say you've got to feel comfortable that you can use it 16, 17, 18 in a round of golf. Nothing should feel laboured.
There we go.
That's mega.
Just box that up. We'll have that.
It's not very often I get it straight out the bat.
No, that was nice, that one.
Yeah.
2-7
me,
spin, yeah.
Like I said, high twos, 2-7, perfect. That land angle's still at 38, so you're still going to get a lot of chase on that, especially in the summer. Ball speed's up nice and high. And that sort of left to right, you can see there's only sort of 10, 12 yards between the left and the right shot. And
Yeah.
you've not, because we've kept that spin higher, you've not had any that's want to drop left on you.
Yeah.
Even that one, that's more of a pull, that's
Yeah.
stronger flight. It's held itself higher in
Still
the air.
spinning above 2, isn't it?
Yeah, 2-2.
yeah.
And you've actually had no drop off in yardage through the air. So
Yeah.
it's not wanted to dip out on you. So
And
we're
that's-
seeing some very
yeah.
efficient shots there.
Yeah, that is really interesting because a lot of times I often think, oh, when I pull it, you squeeze a bit more out of it, but actually you don't because it dips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're losing spin. Yeah, I like that. Really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that cluster's nice, isn't it?
Another option for me that will play a little bit softer will be the Diamana. So
Yeah.
this is the PD version, 50 grams, but that's just rounded. It's more of a mid 50 weight.
Yeah.
It is stiff flex. CPM wise, it's only 4 different, so it's quite a similar sort of profile. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more of a
Yeah.
flight out of this, quite similar as well.
Okay.
All right?
Do you think there's a chance we might have to talk auto flex or not? What are your thoughts?
I mean, how you swing the golf club is it's probably, we're here to try everything. So
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we want to hear. That is what we want. I tried it, but unfitted, and I'll not say it was a disaster, but it was scientific. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Diamana, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was nice.
yeah, so dropping that weight, we might see a little bit more of a smoother feel from
Yeah.
this.
Didn't feel like I was wrestling with it.
Good. And I like that again, that spin stayed at a good level, sort of 2.6.
Yeah, and we will talk
Ball
numbers at
speed's
the end
nice
of this
and high.
video, guys. But interestingly, we are seeing spin jump straight up, which is good for keeping the ball up there in the air.
And the keys for us to not lose ball speed,
Or balls.
or balls, yeah.
Because that was toey, and I felt like it's just kind of stabilised a bit more.
And you've still got a flight out of it because we've got that higher spin profile across the board.
Yeah,
Okay, you're up at 2,150. It's a much better level to be at, especially when that strike drifts.
yeah,
Yeah, nice. Maybe just
Yeah.
what we might see as a potential negative of this, that sort of left to right that you do
Yeah.
want to see, if we get the sort of torque wrong in the shaft and maybe the spin a little bit too high, we might see too much shape on that.
yeah.
So that's something for us to be conscious of.
Yeah, I felt like the previous one, the
TPT.
TPT, from where I'm from, that stands for Transpennine Trail. It does. True story. There's a couple of good pubs on there. But yeah, I felt like the other one was easier to keep dispersion in.
Yeah.
Potentially, and movement.
Yeah, it didn't have that jump on us, did it? It
No.
didn't have that one that we wanted to just jump up spin.
That's probably the best
your
swing I've
fastest
done.
ball speed.
Yeah.
Similar sort of club head speed, but you've really hit that one out the screws. It's the longest shot today, 2.6 spin.
Yeah.
But what we are seeing in both those shafts that we've just hit, your efficiency is much higher.
Yes.
Right, so it shows that you're actually that shaft is working.
Should I have
with
done
you
this a long time ago? Do you think? I've been in that shaft for ages.
I don't know. You know, I find that golfers, once you like a shaft, you stick with it. And all I can imagine that's happened is you've just changed. We all change. We all naturally.
I think I was a 32 waist when I first got fitted. True, it's true.
No.
I ran a marathon in 2019.
No comments.
Yep. Won't be running one now, but. And that's true because life gets ahead of you and you think, oh yeah, I'll change my driver. Especially when you work in golf like we do. A lot of people will be thinking, oh, just change your driver willy-nilly. But when you work in golf and these sort of your tools of your trade, you do change them more often than maybe a kind of weekend warrior. But going to somewhere like this isn't always as easily accessible as maybe it is now.
Yeah, you know, we're only sort of like 7 minutes off the M1 and we're quite central in England now.
5 minutes it took me.
Was it 5 minutes?
Yeah, it was.
Well, you're allowed to go that fast. See, I like that. That's probably just a little bit high for maybe your eyesight.
Maybe, yeah.
But look at the ball speed.
Yeah.
Again, we're seeing.
And club head speed, I'm moving it maybe a couple of miles an hour more. That's 108. For me, 110 is my maximum. Yeah. And ball speed, probably 161 is my maximum. So. Yeah.
And you've had a warm up, and you know we're getting you in that sort of right place now, aren't we? And it's just that fact that you've hit more shots. We're still seeing consistent club head speed, and we're seeing a nice high ball speed, and we're not seeing it drop off anywhere near as much as where we had it.
Is it an Oban you've got in your hands?
It is an Oban. Oh, yeah. You know, when in a toy shop.
Red as well. Do you have many people who come to you where shaft colour is of importance? Apart from the man next door?
I mean, there are people that do want to, you know, maybe avoid a couple of colours.
Or go for it. That's why they're so bright at the moment, isn't it? Because people.
Yeah, I think you know you look at on that wall and there's lots of product out there that just stands out. You know, you've got that graphite design orange that's so.
See, I had this back in the day.
Yeah, loads of people did, and obviously the new one that Tiger's just got, that's on its way and en route down here. We're constantly adding to the matrix, so there's just so much going on. I think you know. The addition of Autoflex and that hot pink that they do. Yeah. I mean, Oban and One as well. You've got the really vivid blues of the Kyoshi, the Devotion, that green of the Revenge.
I think I once had one of these as, not a junior, but I once had one and I had no right having one. It was like mega heavy and stiff. And but, you know, nowadays you're starting to see more and more products available in these sort of nice, vivid colours. So, why not have one that matches your football team? What do we have here?
We've got one of the Oban options here. We go in 55 stick.
Have you said one of the options because you can't say the word on it?
I can't read it upside down.
Oh, he's upside down? I thought.
Well, I'm upside down.
Oh, right. Isawa. Right, got you.
So it's the Isawa red. They do a gold and a red.
Yeah.
This one's a sort of higher launching option for them. And again, like I said, if we're not going to play around with loft too much, let's play around with profile of shaft just to change that orientation of flight. So here we go.
Thank you. This feels easy to move.
Yeah.
That was a miss-hit, but it's spending longer in the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't a good swing, actually.
And as long as we keep that land angle sort of 40 or below, I think you're then going to see the trajectory of how that ball will impact the ground still maintain a good amount of roll.
Yeah. Not this time of year, but...
This is where, you know, I'm just testing something. Yeah. We may have gone a little bit too soft or too light.
But that, and I always thought, I mean, obviously, being a PGA Pro myself, you have to do club fitting exams to a certain level. I've not done them to the level that you have. But to pass the exam, you always had to put something in someone's hands that you knew wasn't going to work. Yeah. So you could then discount it and prove to them this works better.
You're almost just, you know, validating your own knowledge.
Yeah. It's okay. I think it's definitely sporadic, isn't it?
Yeah, you're seeing that sort of left and right miss there. The spin's just deviating too much high and low. You know, you've had one at 3-3, one at 4, one at 2-4, and that land angle for me, you've had one at 40, one at 31. So that the flight profile is just not consistent either.
No, so we can discount that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Next one is one of the 1K series from Mitsubishi, the Tensai. MR70 tip, so very, very stable through the tip section. It's a sort of a generation from the CK Pro that used to have the boron tip. Very, very popular on tour. And again, we're looking at sort of that sort of mid-launch, mid-spin profile.
Great. Let's have a look. Totally different ball flight, immediately higher.
Yeah.
Don't mind that as like a playing shot. 1-7 club, 155 ball.
Just jumped a bit in spin. And again, it's just landing that little bit steep. Like I said,
if we're fitting for the miss hit, which is toey, that's probably perfect because the toe would drag the spin down, wouldn't it?
But you know, you're a decent golfer, so we want that built in there to some degree, but not to the point where that's the main purpose of why we're selecting the shaft. Like that one there, right?
Yeah,
that's got a lovely flight to it, but you've
ball
had to
speed
hit
163.
a hard pull. It's efficient.
Like if you were fitting just on numbers, you'd go with that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like that's giving you everything you want.
Left. Yeah. Please make me longer.
Yeah. I mean, that
was toey again, though.
Is it?
Yeah. 1-7 club, ball 157.
So we've got the specs right, great for your miss hit.
Yeah.
2-3 spin out the toe. I mean, that's mega, but you've not lost a yard on anything you've hit all day.
The toey one's the longest one.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how I felt comfortable looking at that ball flight. I thought, get this out of the toe and that's going to be perfect. But that's not what we want, is it?
No, you don't want to have
to... flex out.
Yeah.
Get in.
Well, we've got to give you that. You don't want to stand there and just think, I've got to toe this for it to work.
Yeah.
That's not what you want.
No.
You want to be able to miss it and still see a ball flight.
Yeah.
Which I think, you know, maybe we blind squirreled it a little bit with that first shaft. That TPT.
Yeah, I think we nailed it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. This is the bad boy that we've driven all this way for, because I've tried one before. I've actually got one in the garage, but I never really got fitted for the shaft weight and the shaft flex and everything like that. I just kind of got it and started trying to absolutely pummel it. So, can we see a 164 ball speed? No.
I think there's definitely potential within that shaft for you. With the nature of this shaft, you've just got to be quite smooth with it. Let the shaft do all the work. Something like that would work.
Yeah. Felt like it lagged a bit more at the top. I mean, it's not the best shot we've hit today, but you know, as a feeler.
If you look at how you swung the club previously, that was a very different swing.
Was it? Yeah,
it looked very different in transition. You didn't look like you tried to, you know, shift the club from back to downswing anywhere near as hard. It's coming out good though.
Yeah.
159 ball.
Didn't even feel like a good strike either.
It's giving you some decent numbers.
Don't say that, Lauren. Got a 7-month-old baby at home. It's Christmas next week.
Well, this is their X Flex. So
yeah.
They do a double X above that as well.
We don't need that, do we?
No, no. It's definitely giving you that sort of slightly higher peak height.
110, 160.5.
Just a little bit of a jump in spin there at 3.2.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a range ball or anything. I mean, these are brand new Pro Vs, so it's as consistent as we can get it. 40 land, it's probably just a little bit too high.
It feels fine. To be honest, if I'm being brutally honest, 1.9 club head speed there, 160.4, probably as good numbers as we've had, but it's double the price of everything else, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And when you look at the dispersion as well, it's marginally broader. And having a slightly higher torque profile allows that club head to waver that little bit more.
Yeah.
And the spin's not quite as consistent as where we have been with some of the other shafts as well. But you know, if you
60
are
point
looking for
nine.
that sort of tick box exercise.
Let's be fair, it's not. I mean, looking at the distances as well, it's the same pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you'd stand there and say the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Yeah, and I think that as an honest fitter as well, I'm sure there's plenty of cowboys worldwide who would try and sell these, because I'm sure.
I'd stand here and go, yeah, you know, you're getting some good numbers out there. Not quite as consistent as some other options, but, you know, if you're standing here and you want something hot pink or maybe
161 though.
hot rainbow,
Yeah.
I mean, you're just excited because you've got it working.
Yeah, pretty much. Spin 3-2, so the spin's killed it.
Yeah, you're not seeing any extra distance. You're seeing marginally a broader dispersion, and if anything, the peak's just a little bit too high. It's landing that little bit steeper, so you're just losing that touch of roll as well.
Are we settled with the Transpennine Trail shaft?
I've blind squirreled it.
So guys, a really, really interesting fitting there. We've hit loads of golf balls and I've really, really, really enjoyed that. Interesting to see some of the shafts that maybe you haven't seen before that aren't just OEM. OEM?
Yeah.
Yeah, that aren't just OEM shafts, and sometimes you might have to put your hand in your pocket and pay a little bit more. We're finishing on it, we're having a go.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is for us, if you get a shaft like this and you do like it and you want to keep it in your bag, because we sell everything in component form as well, we can always just retip it, put it on a new head or whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's just something, you're investing in your own golf game.
Yeah.
Like we're here to play good golf and enjoy it as much as possible, and if this makes you enjoy it more,
Right.
for me it's losing less balls and finding more fairways.
Let's go, 170 ball speed. Baby draw down the middle.
Loads, mate.
And that'll do nicely. Lawrence, thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, Shane.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot,
very
buddy.
much for that. Guys, if you are in the area and you do fancy coming to check out SGGT Tour Performance, did I nail that? I did.
You did first time.
Then make sure you come and check it out. The link is in the description below. And apart from that, I look forward to seeing you all at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye. Awesome. Good
Thank
that.
you.